This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Fan.
Aquarius Home Services has your shot at 4 tickets to see Green Bay take on the Purple in early January, plus $500 in game day cash.
Wow.
Register for your chance to win today on the KFAN contest page. That's KFAN.com/furnace to enter today.
Hey, comment here along with Tennessee. Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the soon-to-be Big Game World Champion Minnesota Vikings, will have his weekly news conference, midweek weekly news conference at 1:20. So what do we figure? We'll just break normally. We won't worry about it because he won't start at 1:20. It'll probably be closer to 1:25, 1:30, right? So what are you? You're a producer. You've been with me.
We might break a touch early.
Okay.
But I'm also used to him not showing up on time.
Yeah, very good. And then we'll probably take it all the way to the top or straddle the quarter hours. That's inside radio talk that we just love on the Fan. But time now for 5, 3, 4.
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Question number 1.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
It's now time to delve deep into Twins territory.
Crack out a home run, shout a hit, hooray! Cheer for the Minnesota Twins today.
Zebby Matthews allowed 5 runs in 4 2/3 innings as the Twins lost to the Angels 12-2 last night. Common, if you were the GM for the Minnesota Twins, would Zebby Matthews be in your starting rotation to start the 2026 season?
We might have to be because I don't know what their other choices are. I don't expect them to go out and try to secure the services of, let's say, a Sonny Gray or any of the free agents. Not that he'll be a free agent, but any free agents that will be available to sign. I think it's another example, Tennessee, and I'm glad you brought it up because it was Zebby Matthews and who's the other guy that...
David Festa.
David Festa. These are the two guys that the organization and the Polat Pocket Protectors kept pointing to and saying, these guys are going to be fixtures in the starting rotation, and we're going to have a deep and talented rotation. We're going to have Lopez and Ober and Joe Ryan and Festa and Matthews and watch out world, here we come. And let it be a word of caution to you that while they're talented and they've pitched in the big league, so they got talent. But it's just because the organization tells you that this guy's going to be really good and we have high hopes for him doesn't necessarily mean it is going to come to fruition. So, and again, much like with McCarthy, I'm not ready to write him off after the first 3 quarters and say he's terrible, and I'm not ready to say he's the best quarterback in the league after winning NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. I lean to it, and looks like the kid's got a little something. Looks like all the predictions about him from the organization and others maybe will prove to be true, but we'll wait and see. But same thing with Festa. My guess is him and Zeb Matthews and Festa could both go on to have, productive, successful careers in the big leagues, but I'm not convinced of it. And I think the team will bring them back because I don't know what else they're going to do unless they sign some free agents or there are other players in, other youngsters in the organization, in the farm system that they might want to bring up. I don't know.
Question number 2. NFL No Huddle.
The Packers signed injured wide receiver Christian Watson to a 1-year, $13.25 million extension through 2026. Common, would you have extended the injured Watson?
I guess. I mean, you tell me. You follow the league more closely than I do. Talented kid, right? Good future, okay receiver, bad.
It's hard to know because he's hurt all the time.
Right. in this day and age, $13 million ain't a whole heck of a lot.
No.
And, he's out for the year, and so maybe they just want to make sure, hey, we love you, and we're waiting for you to come back next year. So I guess I don't have a real problem with it, no. I'd do it. I'm Green Bay.
Lions head coach Dan Campbell said his team, quote, has to win their Week 2 game versus Ben Johnson's Bears after their loss to the Packers. Common, is this a must-win game for Detroit?
I saw that, and that's the clickbait headline I saw was Campbell labels that a must-win game, and he didn't say it was must-win. He said we got to win it, which you could say you could say, well, that means must-win. I think he's just saying we got to win this game. We can't
0-2 start, 0-2 in the division.
Well, that's it.
It's hard to overcome that.
So, it's as close to a must-win as you can get 2 games into the season. Remember, Tennessee, what percentage of teams don't make the playoffs and they start 0-2?
Like 87.5.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Teams returned 75.6% of kickoffs in Week 1 for the highest rate in any week since the 2010 season. Common, are the current kickoff rules the best kickoff rules?
They seem to be working. It's safety comes first. I get that, especially if you're with the Players Association. And this does create it's in the tweaks they made. Not only keep it safe, but the tweaks now allow for more returns, particularly because teams just don't want to give up the ball at the 35-yard line. That 5 yards does make. You wouldn't think 5 yards would make that much difference, but my guess is sabermetrics and analytics will tell you 30 to 35 is huge, and so they don't want to do it anymore. So, so far, so good. I like, because you do see some more action, and I haven't seen anybody waylaid yet and, sprawled on their back and taken out on a stretcher.
It's not as aesthetically pleasing as the old kickoff, back in the day.
Right.
But at least we're seeing them return kicks now. I just got bored of seeing touchback after touchback.
I 100% agree with you.
Question number 3.
It's time now for What's Your Rank?
Rock rank.
All right, Common, if you were starting a franchise with quarterbacks drafted in the first round of the 2024 NFL drafts, we're talking about Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May,
J.J. McCarthy,
Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix, and, of course, J.J. McCarthy. How would you rank them?
Well, J.J. McCarthy, number 1. How can you not? I mean, in his very first game, he's already NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Let me ask you, has Jaden Daniels ever been the NFC Offensive Player of the Week?
I'm sure he was last year. He had some good games.
Has Caleb?
But I can't confirm that.
Has Caleb Williams ever been?
I would doubt it with him.
Who are the other? Bo Nix, has he ever been NFC or AFC?
Maybe Bo Nix. Yeah. Drake May, probably not.
Yeah.
Michael Penix Jr., no. He didn't play till the end of the year.
So there you go. I don't know. I'm going to do the old cliche, the jury is still out on J.J. McCarthy. I must admit that fourth quarter was pretty exhilarating. Now, again, was it, Bears aren't very good? Were they kind of in a prevent defense? Did his words of inspiration really juice up the team, as Justin Jefferson said? That's an intangible that you can't coach either, though. Leadership and pumping guys up, the old win one for the Gipper kind of a thing. I must admit it was pretty good, but I'm not ready to, if you're gonna crown him. But I'd say it's the kid from Washington still for me. I mean,
yes, there's no doubt on that one.
Rookie year, he took his team to the NFC Championship game, for crying out loud. But a nice start to his career, at least in that. We'll see. My guess they'll build on that. The Falcons are okay at best, right? So we'll see.
Jaden Daniels is easy number 1. Number 2. You could make an argument for J.J. McCarthy.
We'll learn more against the Falcons. My guess is he'll pick up where he left off because the Falcons just don't seem to be. They're okay, right?
They don't have much of a pass rush,
so they should be cool. Let's peek at the purple when we return.
That was 5 questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's right. 5 questions. Peek at the purple. 5 questions. Whiff at the wild, whatever you want to call it. Also, head coach of the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings scheduled to address the media at 1:20. We'll have it for you live here on the Fan.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
step into the magic. The Minnesota Renaissance Festival runs weekends right now through September 28th. Get your tickets now at renaissancefest.com and enter for your shot to win a pair of tickets on our contest page at KFAN.com, keyword contest.
Received a text message from someone a little bit earlier when we were talking about our 20-year anniversary, and we were lamenting the fact that it's all about the morning show. Someone sent a text that said, boy, Comet is insufferable. And I thought to myself, you just learned that now? You must not have been listening very long. It's what we do. It's part of the bit. Much like somebody actually says, got a text message that says, is the 0-2 start as critical now that the seasons are 17 games long? And we're just doing a bit when we do the losing 2 games. It's because, and you know what, Tenneby, I've not seen a story this year on it. Maybe we finally.
Oh, it's coming.
But I haven't seen it yet. Usually you see it right away. If somebody's on it Monday after the first week or Tuesday, and it could be coming. But we do the bit because someone will always write the story that says, teams that start, dangerous week, important week 2. Matter of fact, it's make or break week for many teams in the NFL because the percentage of teams that start 0-2 to make the playoffs is only 12%. Almost as if it's a curse, it's a jinx. And it's like, well, as you and I pointed out, no, it's just because most teams that start 0-2 are bad. And that's the reason. That's why they don't make the playoffs, because they're not any good. They lose a lot of games. It's not because it's a curse or it's not like if they go 1-1, it's like, well, now they're on pace to get to the NFC or AFC championship games. It's the reason they're 0-2 is they're just not very good. Now, teams have, and that's always been pointed out. I think the Chargers were one of those teams in the last 5-10 years that started like 0-4 and 0-5 and then making postseason play. So it can happen, but it's the reason teams that start 0-2 generally don't make the playoffs, only 12%, is because they're just not any good. That's why they lost 2 games. Here's KOC.
The week, coaching staff's working very hard on a short week to get ready for a really good team coming in off the heels of getting the win on Monday night. We talked a lot after the game about that game and what, first and foremost, I came away feeling was where our team is at from a standpoint of what it's going to take to win games and how we're going to have to continuously chase improvement, but lean in and lean, on all 3 phases of our team to do that. And I was proud of our guys for doing that. But there is no question we have a lot of things we need to improve on. A lot of things to immediately get better in a short week. That can be a challenge at times, but we feel good about our plan for the week. And we'll get ready to welcome Raheem and his team here on Sunday night. So another opportunity to get to play on national TV, something that gives us an opportunity to put our team on display, and we want to continue to try to chase improvement. Like I said, congratulations to J.J. McCarthy on the NFC Offensive Player of the Week honor, and looking forward to seeing him build on that. It starts today. It starts with his preparation. Again, I thought he had a great week of preparation that led him into being able to overcome some adversity and help lead us out of a place where we weren't playing very well offensively, and we found a way to get on track there towards the tail end of that football game. Giving you guys an update on some injuries. So I know with Blake Cashman and Ty Chandler, Ty was able to finish the game, but it looks like both of them will miss some time. We're still working through what that looks like roster-wise, but I do plan on both of them returning. But I don't have a real timetable as far as what that looks like from a standpoint of the next few weeks. Jeff Okudah and Andrew Van Ginkel did come out of the game and have been placed into the concussion protocol. So that will be something that to monitor clearly on a short week with both of those players. They're both doing well, but they are indeed in the protocol, and they will, work their way through that here over the next few days, and we'll see where they're at for the football game. Harrison Smith, Christian Darrisaw will both continue to ramp up their work, and it's just there was a game on Monday night, but as we continue to progress forward, they are part of a daily mission of getting back on the field, and both doing very well. And then also Xavier Scott and Elijah Williams will return this week to practice as well. We got some other guys. It was a very physical football game. We got some other guys dealing with some bumps and bruises that may show up on the injury report, but for the most part, wanted to update you guys on those names. And I think we're good there. So turn it over to you guys.
Kevin, when you rewatched the first half, what was your kind of takeaway about why things weren't working and what you can build off of there?
Yeah, I thought there was some sloppiness to how we played, and what I mean by that is really, we talk about all 11, and how many snaps did we actually have all 11 guys just simply doing their job and doing the things that fundamentals and technique, schematically, things they were coached to do, and it was kind of moving around a little bit, and we just weren't on the field enough. We weren't able to sustain any sort of momentum to allow ourselves to stack some plays, and then luckily we were able to get the stop the defense did late in the first half. Murph made a great tackle, and they make the field goal, and then we get Speedy on explosive to give Will a chance at it. And I thought those 3 points clearly ended up being pretty huge.
Kevin, what was Ty's injury?
Ty's got a knee. It is something that just speaks to Ty Chandler, not only finishing the game but being one of the last people to touch the football there on that last kick return when he brought it out to make sure we ate up that 2-minute warning. And Ty is so tough. He's one of those people that you're not surprised when you kind of hear about it in detail the next day of like, this could be something that causes him to miss a little bit of time. That's how tough he is, and he wasn't coming off the field in any capacity. So we'll get him cleaned up and healthy, and everything will be good.
Kevin, what was pregame? What was Will's range? What did you guys determine?
Yeah, the direction he kicked the 59-yarder was actually into, there can be much more significant wind, as you guys know, probably better than me about Soldier Field, but that was into the direction we thought the wind was impacting the kicks. It was right around that number. In fact, it's one of those situations where, with it necessarily wasn't replay assist, but the ball had been spotted. The way the sequence of play clock and things work under 2 minutes like that, they're already, they're planning on bringing, I didn't see the halftime show, but they're getting ready to bring everything out. They want us to get off the field in a timely manner, and there's a lot to get to from a entertainment and production standpoint. So sometimes you're looking at it like field goal teams on the field, they move it back, and it was right on that line. Do we hockey line change and get the offense back on and potentially risk, a procedure penalty or something that would, impact our ability to get the chance at the 3 points? So I decided to just leave them out there and felt good right on that number. And, Will hit a great kick, into the wind right there, and we had good protection and got the critical play. The other direction, I would imagine, I can't remember exactly what the number was, but it was a little further than that.
Did you have any, conclusion about some of the plays where the clock got pretty far down?
Yeah, I thought, that was one of the things that, you watch. It happened, around the league a little bit when you see, it's not even just young quarterbacks, it's just the game one in a lot of ways. We try to simulate the play clock as much as possible. A lot of times it ended up being on those third downs where you're trying to do everything as a staff based upon the limited inventory of actual real, Dennis Allen coached Chicago Bears defense to try to piece together some things to help the offensive group, get the best possible play we can get to, maybe, see a cover zero look and get it blocked up and have a chance to convert. Didn't end up happening, but you're trying to do those things based upon what you think you may get, what you think might be a potential to, as coaches and a scheme to put it together in a way that helps the players. But I felt like in the first half, it was moving pretty quickly from a standpoint of were we getting out of the huddle in the most efficient way possible, immediately knowing our alignments, The motion timings I thought were not very good in the first half. The details of what we saw throughout a really good week of practice in the noise, with some new guys playing not only at quarterback but at center, right guard. All those guys are involved in some capacity in that silent snap count. And then just across the board, we needed to, kind of take our entire execution as an offense to clearly another level that is our standard of doing things. And I thought as we started to move the football in the second half, the execution got better. The rhythm of the offense got better, and it's all tied together. So clearly we will not have some of those obstacles that present themselves on the road. Really for a while, if you think about it from a standpoint of our trip overseas and everything, we expect obviously to be the road team in both those games. We'll deal with some, things in the environment of the stadium there. But as far as a true road game, I think I even said it after the game. I made the mistake of, kind of thinking, hey, I think we're going to be all right here. And then that fantastic national anthem and a couple F-18s later, I was sorely mistaken. And it was absolutely, if you wanted to see your young quarterback in a real road environment, that was certainly one of them. Credit to them for that.
Yesterday on the radio, I think you were talking about how you wanted people internally to not want JJ to prove it, before they supported him or before that they kind of believed in him. To what extent do you think that was successful? Players, coaches, anybody in the building. And to what extent do you think human nature at all kind of crept up and said, hey, I kind of do need to see him before I believe in him?
I'm sure it's natural. Especially under those circumstances, I'm sure it is a natural feeling. What I have just tried to instill really long before Monday night happened, if you really think about it, you go back over our time here, whether it's a new offense in year one, there's some unknown there. There's a little bit of a leap of faith of, what's this crazy guy talking about this system and what they've brought here. Then you talk about the adversity we dealt with in year two, and there was total unknown throughout that whole season, and the guys just kept trusting in the process and playing, and it's not always accompanied by the result of Monday night. And then last year with our quarterback situation, there was an unknown there as well. So I've just tried to lean on the fact that a lot of the guys that have the belief they do and had it before we took the field on Monday night, they've hopefully have reasons why, beyond just the fact that we all believe JJ's made of the right stuff and we all believe he would respond in those moments. But you're that's an accurate statement to say we hadn't actually seen it. But that's my hope with a lot of things, not just the young quarterback. That's my hope with our football team, where we can start to really believe and deep down inside believe and expect good things to happen based upon how we prepare, how we have prepared with training camp and the whole off season to make sure in those moments we shouldn't be shocked by it. We should be expecting it and getting in the huddle and getting ready to snap the ball again and do it again and again and again as a football team and do whatever it takes to try to win.
Yeah, one of those lines, when things were going poorly there in the first half, it didn't seem like his demeanor changed.
No.
I mean, you obviously play an emotional game. How do you not let negative emotions kind of creep in those situations?
Yeah, I think it's it's not just him. It's our whole team. It's, one of the people I was most proud of on Monday night was Justin Jefferson. This is a guy that expects to go out there and make a play every single play. And we weren't necessarily doing the things across the board, myself included, to have the success that we wanted. And I just felt like throughout the whole game, although maybe at times, people want to see a Gatorade cooler thrown or a bench, knocked over or something. It was just about poise. It was about understanding if we, the things that were happening were as much to do with things we could correct by just doing our jobs a little bit better. and then just trying to sustain that level of execution. And that was what the focus was on. The focus was on dialing in on some of these looks that maybe we were talking about for the first time. The focus was on how am I making sure my technique and fundamentals apply to how I'm being played today in this football game, regardless of what our preparation might have been. And he was a great example of that. I mean, his sideline demeanor was outstanding. Clearly, guys like Aaron Jones and Brian O'Neill and T.J. Hawkinson, these guys, I've come to expect them, along with Justin, to have that demeanor because, you know, those names I've just mentioned have been through a lot of games together where maybe it wasn't going your way, and we're going to figure it out. And the trust that and belief that we're going to find that path to not only just, you know, trying to find a way to win the game, but just play good offense and sustain some things that help you do that. And I thought our whole group and coaching staff included, really kept level heads, poised. I mean, we're trying to hold each other accountable in the moment. We're trying to identify things and call it what it is, which was not good enough. And then, you know, like I said on Monday night, I didn't want it to be a Tuesday morning correction session. Like, let's have it right now and let's find a way to get out of here with a win.
What impresses you most about Atlanta and what they do and what they try to do?
Yeah, I think when you look at their, first and foremost, you know, on the offensive side of the ball, they have a collection of skilled players as good as anybody in the NFL. I mean, you look at the way Bijan Robinson impacted that game. I think he had 12 carries for 24 yards on Sunday, but he had 6 catches for 100 and a touchdown. And the touchdown catch was a check down in space, and he turns it into a massive, explosive play, breaking tackles, finding grass, and scoring. So clearly, when you see a player like one of the best at his position be able to touch the ball in the run game, the screen game, check downs, when you're trying to cover down the next group of guys I'm going to talk about, it's an impressive aspect of their offense to have a player like that. And then you start talking about Drake London and Mooney, you know, and obviously the tight ends all seem to bring a certain level of playmaking, really kind of, they've got a very similar room in a lot of ways to us with, you know, guys that, you know, really can block, guys that can really impact the game in the pass game, and really fit with what Zach does. And that's where I think Zach does a really good job, you know, as putting that whole thing together and allowing a lot of those guys to have an impact on the game. And then, I think Michael Penix is a guy that we studied him a lot, know him very well, and know how talented he is as a thrower of the football. You know, he truly excelled at the collegiate level, pushing the ball downfield, you know, finding, his receivers and throwing guys open and finding ways to have massive amounts of explosives in a game, you know, from the pocket. And then what I think people are starting to learn about him is his ability to affect the game with his athleticism. I mean, the Sunday was a great example of that. Tampa did some good things to try to slow him down as the field condensed. There was some, coverages that there weren't a lot of, eligibles in rhythm. So what did he do? He found a way to get the ball in the end zone, to get a first down, to just, force you to snap it one more time by making a play athletically. And I thought he, was a driving force behind that game being so competitive into overtime, all those things. I think it was impressive. And just defensively, Raheem is a guy I know very well as the head coach. You know for sure, signing up to play a game like this against a group that he's coaching, they're going to play incredibly hard. They're going to be flying around the field. They're going to be a good tackling team. They're going to be all about the ball, punching at it, trying to force turnovers. They're going to be well coached. They're going to do the things required to be a very tough defense to play against. And I think they've got really good players on that side at all 3 levels of the defense. Physicality up front. I think they have 2 really good linebackers. I think they've got some young guys on the edge that are, explosive pass rushers, and they rotate those guys so they stay fresh. And then between Terrell and Bates and just their entire group of DBs all seem like they are really good fits with what they're doing. And then, Jeff Ulbricht's been a guy that, we played against last year in London when he was calling it for the Jets. And then, ultimately Raheem brings him in to call it. You can see why. And he carries a lot of those exact same characteristics. And, now you have a world where they can mesh 2 different schemes entirely together and create some problems for offenses, especially early on in the year where there's really only one game of inventory of knowing kind of what exactly they're going to be.
Coach, I just want to ask about Miles Price, and obviously he earned the roster spot for a reason and everything, but just curious what you thought about how he handled the environment and giving you guys some positive.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while there's not going to be a moment too big for Miles, and he won that job. He clearly showed he could give us a spark. When you're in a constant battle to win field position, every yard matters. He's got the skill set to be a really good returner in the NFL. From in the punt phase, making the initial guy miss, understanding the return and how to set up blocks. He's got natural instincts as a runner, and then he's got a play style to him that it's not always delivering the blows. We learned, he could, get launched 9 yards, from almost the middle from between the hash and the numbers to outside the numbers, and an incredible pop-up game there to get up and I told him, as I told you guys after the game, I don't know what else you have to worry about now that you were able to have that happen your first time out there. The rest is going to be easy, and he proved to be a huge impact on the game, and I think we ended up winning the starting field position by just under 1 yard. So every single one of those returns actually did matter.
Time for two more questions, guys.
To Donovan Jackson.
Yeah, I think that's I know I was asked about him after the game, and that was before I had a chance to watch the tape, Darren, and I thought he had a really good performance from a standpoint of the matchup, what they were doing, how they were trying to, really on that. On that left side, without 71 in there was a mindset defensively of trying to, go at that side of our protection, and between, Justin School stepping up and competing all night long, and then Donovan and Ryan, really, solidifying the interior of that side when the slide was going that way, and when Ryan was working the other way, Donovan had some really, really good reps in the one-on-one phase. And then what that did was, once we, got into a little bit more of an all-11 kind of execution in the second half, Donovan was showing up in the run game. Play style, physicality. We were running some different schemes versus, base to nickel groupings, and we're, Ryan's getting runs targeted, and we're totally ID'd and getting hats on hats, and there was a lot to really build off of that was really encouraging. But Donovan, played really well. I also thought another guy we didn't talk about a whole lot, but I thought Jalen Naylor, when you watch the tape back, was just flying around the field all night long, physical in the run game, considering his journey to get back and play in that game. For him to, perform the way he did, where maybe it doesn't show up in the stat sheet like it does for others all the time, but that was really encouraging. And then I thought TJ Hawkinson, he blocked as well as he has maybe in his career, and that's been a real mindset from TJ the entire offseason. With the production he's going to have in the pass game, if he can consistently block like that when paired with Josh Oliver, we've got a really, really good thing going in that tight end room, and that was really, really encouraging to see as well.
Kevin, how did you stay? You talk about the injury report. What about for you? What have you learned about sleep and how you prepare for a game, and a Monday night to a Sunday? How do you get to peak performance on Sunday personally, and what have you learned over the years about that?
Quite honestly, I've learned that this probably ain't for everybody. And luckily, I feel like I've learned long ago that lesson, and I've made the determination that figured outness is the best quality to have sometimes. And you don't always get to do that on, 8 to 10 hours of sleep and everything. But there's every coach in this league, every organization, every player's got to deal with the unique aspects of what makes our game so great, I think, is our schedule, because we've got the ability to have such an impact on fans, multiple days, multiple continents, multiple, you name it. We know what we're signing up for. And, when you love doing something, a couple less hours of sleep never hurt anybody.
I got a similar question for you. I want you to ponder and then answer on the other side of the break. How do you come in with a bright, cheery attitude every day for 20 years? How do you do it? That's what I want to know. It's Mike Mack might have asked you that question if you were here. We'll break. We'll come back with all of our
reactions. If I had KOC salary, it'd be a little easier to be cheery.
Indeed it would.
Going to work every day.
We'll have all our reaction to all of the news conference action on the side of the break. Common Man program on the Fan.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.
Kick off the 2025 season of Minnesota Vikings at US Bank Stadium with a kickoff concert from Russell Dickerson before the home opener when the Vikings play the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday, September 14th. It is a free concert in Commons Park outside US Bank Stadium, presented by Miller Lite. Get the full details now at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 past Common Man program. I'm Common, he's Tennessee. Just so people know this, and maybe they do, being a head football coach isn't the only job that you have to put a lot of hours in and don't get a lot of sleep. People seem to believe that. It seems to be, the question was asked of him, how do you do it? How do you adjust to that? He goes, well, it's just kind of work we're in. Tennessee, I went to bed last night 11:30 and got up at 5. Well, I have to golf, but I'm the official unofficial ambassador of Minnesota Golf. I'm required to golf every day in order to be the official unofficial ambassador to Minnesota Golf. The Monday nighter, I didn't get to bed till 12:30, almost 1 o'clock, and got up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I oftentimes go on very little sleep as well. You have a lot of restless nights thinking about coming to work. There are times you toss and turn and come in very tired. So those kinds of things happen. I did like where the coach said, they said, I think it was Chip, my good friend Chip Scoggins, who is an esteemed columnist, Fish Wrap Factory, west side of the river, who asked him, how did JJ keep calm, cool, and collected even after the struggles early? And he said, O'Connell said, it's our whole team. It's what we do. We're just calm, cool, and collected. We never let anything rattle us. So we'll see if that continues through the rest of the season. Sometimes I don't mind if somebody gets angry and upset. There's the legendary story, 1969 playoff game, Rams versus the Purple on the frozen tundra of Metropolitan Stadium Field. Rams had the lead at halftime. Vikings had not played well. The legend is that Carl Moose Eller broke a chalkboard inside the locker room. Not one of those great big huge ones that they have on the rollers. I mean, it's like to break that bad boy, you got to be hitting it pretty hard. So yeah, he apparently broke that. So sometimes getting fired up and angry can help. But nonetheless, the Vikings are there. They have the Falcons coming up here. He tipped his cap to NFC Offensive Player of the Week, J.J. McCarthy, who won that award. And he also tipped his cap to Jason Naylor, who's running all over the field, throwing blocks. Loved how J.J. stayed in the game, Jefferson, how Jets stay in the game, even though, he's expecting to get the ball early and often, almost like a Randy Ray show, and he didn't. And those things will happen sometimes. The other team can take you out of those game plans. Injury report, Darisaw. Now, what about Cashman? What did he say? Is that still up in the air with Cashman? Do we know?
It sounded like Cashman. Who else?
And Darisaw were probably out.
Not Darisaw.
Not Darisaw. Darisaw might play.
Well, Darisaw, yeah. I'll get
Darisaw didn't play on Monday, though he was on the field doing, he was in the warm-ups to led some people to believe that he might play, but then they said no. And I don't blame them for being cautious with your star left tackle, just coming off, 10, 11 months ago. He came off of a significant knee injury, which required surgery. So I wouldn't blame him for taking your time there. And, every game you get by with him getting more rest probably is valuable to him, particularly if you win, which is what they did on Monday night. Who was in the concussion protocol?
So KOC said Blake Cashman and running back Ty Chandler will miss some time.
Okay.
Jeff Okudah and Andrew Van Ginkel are in the concussion protocol.
And with a game on
Sunday night.
It's a Sunday night game. It's
a short week, yeah.
Yeah, it's a short week, though.
And then he also said Christian Darrisaw and Harrison Smith will continue to ramp up. Quote, both are doing very well.
The Harrison Smith, there's a number of people that text me on a regular basis, including one that's obsessed with it. Well, what's this problem with Harrison Smith? Because the Vikings have been very mysterious about it. They basically said a personal health problem is what they've said, and that's all they've alluded to. And I've not heard any, I've not seen anything wrote about. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's something he just doesn't want people to know about, and you are allowed, if it's a personal health issue, if it's not a football related injury, was it called HIPAA? I mean, there are certain things that you don't have to disclose to anybody. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't want anybody to know that the only thing larger than my ego was my prostate. I have an enlarged prostate. But a cat got out of the bag. Genie's out of the bottle. What's my other one? Genie's out of the bottle. Cat's out of the bag. Pandora's out of her box. So now people know I have an enlarged prostate. I'm right. I'm not, it's nothing, I get a sheepish grin when people go, hey. But that's okay, too. So I don't know. I do know this. We're going to pause. And we're going to welcome the legendary Mark Rosen into the conversation. I'm going to grill him about a number of topics. That's coming up other side of the break here on the Common Man program on The Fan.
Stop settling for weak sound. It's time to level up your game and bring the boom. Hit the town with the ultra-durable LG X Boom portable speaker and enjoy vibrant sound wherever you go. Elevate your listening experience to new heights because, let's be real, your music deserves it. The future of sound is now with LG X Boom. And for a limited time, save 25% at LG.com with code FALL25. Bring the boom. X Boom.